Hey everyone, and welcome to this new video. The winter season and autumn season have begun, which means it's getting colder outside and it's time to turn on the heating. Exactly for this reason, and because I am very much involved with smart home technology, I want to show you in the following two videos how you can save on heating costs, and it's actually quite simple. More after the intro. Enjoy! First of all, my annual sermon on smart radiator thermostats, as this is of course the easiest and quickest way to save on heating costs. There are various manufacturers. I personally use the Tado thermostats at home, simply because it is its own ecosystem and has worked super reliably for me over the past few years. The thermostats actually look really nice, and you have the option to set rules directly in the app that determine how the heating should be adjusted up and down accordingly. Additionally, if you have your own heating system, you can control it remotely with Tado, effectively turning the entire heating circuit on or off. Turn it on and, in my case, even control the hot water with it. If you would like to see a detailed video about this and perhaps want me to check out other options, feel free to write it in the comments. I will definitely include the link to Tado in the video description. To make the smart radiator thermostats a little bit smarter, I have the eave door and window contacts here. The problem is that while there is an automation from Tado that detects whether a window has been opened or closed, it does not always work reliably, and even if you want to run it completely automatically, it is part of the subscription model. We can easily build the whole thing either directly with Apple HomeKit or Google Home, or even with Home Assistant itself, and make it significantly more reliable by using our own door and window contacts. For me, this is also the first Thread device that I am integrating into my network, or rather the first Thread devices. Accordingly, I am also curious about how it all works. The advantage is that you can integrate them natively, just like Tado in Apple HomeKit, Google Home, and Home Assistant. Therefore, I would say, let's not waste any time and simply take a look at what is in the packaging. I must say that the unboxing here will probably be very short, because besides the pairing code, there is of course only the window contact itself, a battery, the magnetic sensor, a spacer for the magnetic sensor, the instruction manual, and a cap for the window sensor in the packaging. And just as quickly as the unboxing, the pairing with the whole system should work. Simply insert the battery. The contact should automatically enter search mode and light up red. You can also test the whole thing by simply holding the contact up, and then you can see whether it is open or closed. To connect in Apple HomeKit, simply open the app, click on Add New Device, scan the code, wait a few minutes, sort it into the correct room, set it as a contact, assign a name, and that's it. If we now have Tado integrated into Apple HomeKit, we can create a fairly simple automation by saying that when the window contact opens, the heating should turn off, and when we close the window contact, the heating should turn back on. We can define everything even more precisely in Home Assistant. For this, the door and window contact must be in pairing mode. We are looking at devices and services here, and ideally, it should already appear as a new device up here. I click here to configure, logically need to enter the connection code manually here once, and can now sort the device into a category. I'm just going to put this in the bedroom and can now test the device by going to the Apple HomeKit device, selecting the device, seeing that it is currently open, and if I hold the contacts together and the LED lights up, it should automatically switch to closed. Similarly, when I remove it, it should switch back to open. And now we can create an automation afterwards. To do this, click on Create New Automation under Automation, and for the trigger, we need to set the device to opened. And once again set the device as the trigger to closed. Then I go to Edit ID, give the whole thing a trigger ID for open and closed, and can then add a second action here, of course, selecting an action. And as option 1, if triggered by open, then I would like to execute a service, namely set the Tado climate timer. Here I am now selecting the device. In my case, I prefer the bathroom for this device, setting the temperature to 5 degrees, and I would like to set the time interval manually. That means, as long as I don't set anything else, the temperature should remain at 5 degrees. This has the advantage compared to Apple HomeKit that I can specify in the Tado app how long each set interval should be. For example, when guests are present and adjust the heating, it should not run continuously for 3 days, but rather maintain the desired temperature for a certain period of time and then return to the scheduled plan. However, if this window contact triggers in 2021, I want it to stay at 5 degrees for as long as the window is open. Only when it is closed again should the temperature change. Accordingly, I set this to manual here. And for option 2 this time, the condition must be closed. And as an action, again, set the Tado climate. And this time I have selected a duration of 300, which is 300 seconds or 5 minutes. During these 5 minutes, the temperature should be maintained at 5 degrees. After 5 minutes, Tado will automatically switch to standard mode, allowing the room a brief moment to warm up again after the window is closed, and then the heating will resume its function. I hope that was understandable and, in my opinion, a super simple way to have an even better heating routine. In the next video, there will be an even bigger energy-saving tip that I want to share with you. If you don't want to miss the video, feel free to click subscribe. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, show it with a rating, and I would say see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye. You Sand.